What's up, everybody, and welcome to the latest edition of the Falcons in Focus podcast presented by Ticketmaster. I'm Scott Bair. That's Tori McElhaney. With us, special guest new Falcons defensive lineman, Kentavius Street is with us. And before we dive into the Douglas, Georgia natives background, back playing it at home.
Georgia boy.
We do have to mention, considering Falcons in Focus is sponsored by Ticketmaster. Ticketmaster is the official ticket marketplace of the Falcons and the NFL. Ticketmaster has a wide selection of tickets available for every game, whether you're cheering on the Falcons at home or away. One, buy a number 75 jersey before you do it. And Ticketmaster has you covered. Download the Ticketmaster app or find tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/Falcons. That's Ticketmaster.com/Falcons.
Let's get into it.
Now let's get into it. And we're going to go back in time just a little bit.
Okay.
To the North Carolina State Strength and Conditioning Room.
A place you know well.
Yeah. And Kentavius, in the middle of a squat rack with 15 or 20
I know where this is going.
guys, players, teammates, coaches, all around him with anticipation. Because
wow, you're really painting a scene.
Because Kentavius was crazy enough to put 700 pounds
on a bar
on this squat rack.
Yeah.
Take us from there.
Wow. So, guys, in NC State, everything we did started in the weight room. And when it comes to max out week, it's almost like we're playing North Carolina that week in the off season. So we're selling out. We're trying to get as high weights as possible, especially in the D-line room. We're all top competitors. So everyone wants to be number one in the spot. And squat, that's my day. That's my day. So I'm selling out. I went to sleep at probably 8:30 that night before. I'm ready to go. And I get 700 on the bar. And we're playing music. I think it was Shawty Low or something like that.
Knows exactly the
I
sound.
pick it up, and it goes silent, right? I drop up under it. I pick it up. It's a little heavy, but I get past that half squat position. I'm pushing it up. I'm like, oh, it's kind of light. And I come up, I explode, and I hear somebody. I think it was his name was Kentavius Johnson. He said, "We don't need no spot." And I put it off, and then the music started back playing. It was just it was a movie scene. It was really nice, man.
Everybody
So cool.
went. If you haven't seen the video,
Yeah,
we
it
will
went
definitely
viral.
link to it. It went viral because not only did you lift a superhuman amount, but everybody around you went absolutely nuts.
It was
There's somebody
crazy.
blowing a whistle in the background. There's people screaming. It was absolutely crazy. So that was pre-North Carolina week, right?
No,
This
he
is
said-
in the off season.
This is
Yeah.
the off season.
It had that type of intensity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
So did you go into the day being I'm doing this? Or
No,
did it happen a little organically?
It just kind of happened. We were just hitting. I think that may have been set 3 or 4 because we knew most of the guys in that D-line room were 600, 630 guys, and I just happened to be hitting those weights a little bit faster. So he just bumped me up that day.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
I actually paused it, and because I was 700 pounds, that's crazy. And I went and I counted plates, and I was like, oh my gosh, dude, that's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Had you ever hit that number before?
Never. That was the highest squat I've ever hit.
Okay. I can't imagine lifting that much ever, but is there a moment, because you're a confident guy, you're a strong guy, is there a moment in the process where you're like, okay, once I go down, I better be able to
Can I get back up? Oh my God, man, the adrenaline was flowing so much. I probably could have pushed a train up a hill in that moment. So I don't think failure ever entered my mind in that moment, especially with how much energy was in the room. I couldn't let the guys down.
Now I'm curious. I went back on YouTube and I found that video, and then I found what I think was a Kentavius Street channel or account that you made in high school, right?
Yeah.
And that was back before you had a school.
Yeah.
And you were squatting crazy weight back then, not 700, but for a 15-year-old, 16-year-old kid.
Yeah.
So you started that just to kind of be college coaches like look at
Yeah, I'm trying to, because I think that was like sophomore or junior year. That was when I had just moved to North Carolina.
Yeah.
And as I said before, squat's my day. So I felt like that was my chance to like branch out and like, hey, someone come look at me, please. You know?
Look how much I can squat.
Yeah.
So when you're at NC State, you were surrounded by a lot of really cool guys. Y'all, this defensive line group, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you all got drafted.
Yep.
And that was something that very rarely, I think, do you see an entire position group have that accomplishment together.
Right.
What was it like playing with those guys, and what type of friendship did y'all build while y'all were at NC State?
We're still all like brothers, man. Blood couldn't make us any closer. And playing with those guys, man, you really take it for granted because like in college most guys have guaranteed 4 years, but with the talent we had, it could have been 3 for us. But just playing with those guys was amazing. And I really miss those days for real because in the league, like guys are in and out so much, you know. It's a business now. So being in college with those guys, because we stayed together our freshman year. So, like, just looking back on those memories is really, like, some of the best memories I've had in my life. I mean, I miss those guys. You know?
Bradley Chubb was on the line with you guys.
Yep.
And, gosh, I thought I wrote it down. Who else
Bradley
got drafted
Chubb, B.J. Hills is with the Bengals now,
That's
and
right.
Justin Jones is with the Bears.
And did you live with Bradley at some point?
Yep.
What was
how are y'all as roommates?
Bradley. First and foremost, amazing guy, high energy guy, hyperactive guy. You never know which Chubb you're gonna get on a given day. But it was amazing just living with the guy, learning from him, bouncing pass rush ideas off of him. Because in college I was a defensive end, so it was me in the field and he was in the boundary, and it was great, man. I mean, Bradley's a special player, a special talent, and I love seeing what he's doing down there in Miami right now. I mean, it's amazing to see.
Right. So you had offers from a lot of different places, including Georgia, I think, right?
Yep.
Yeah, like
So I'm a dog.
Tori went
Your
to
dog?
Georgia.
I'm a dog.
Now
yeah.
she has to wonder why that you didn't sign the right paper. But
It's okay.
but so you had lived in Douglas. You moved during high school.
Yep.
And then ended up in North Carolina, and then you end up staying local.
Yep.
Well, obviously that worked out great. Great line, drafted, all that type of thing. But like, what goes into that? How much? I saw a couple clips of your mom. She seems like an opinionated sort, maybe.
Yeah.
In the best way.
In the best way possible.
Yeah.
But like what goes into that when you've got so many offers and you're making this big choice and you're 17, 18 years old, right?
For me, it was all about my position coach because I knew that's who I was going to spend the most time with. I knew that's who was going to develop me. At the end of the day, that's who could possibly get me drafted. And throughout all the great colleges around the U.S., man, there was a lot of great coaches, but I felt like there was no better coach in the nation than Coach Nielsen. Like,
Falcons defensive coordinator Ryan Nielsen was your line coach.
He was my D-line coach.
At NC
So,
State.
like, the passion, his attention to detail, he's a brilliant mind. I truly encourage you guys to go listen to him and how he talks about football. I think they had like a 3-part series of him teaching people how to pass rush and how to defeat run blocks while he's at NC State. I mean, he just loves the game and he pours that into his players. Man, it's a great thing to see. Yeah.
It's fun too because I think a lot of times, not very often do you get to have this full circle moment with a position coach like what you and Ryan Nielsen have been able to have. How do you think that y'all's dynamic is the same as maybe what it even was when you were younger and he was younger too?
Yeah. I mean, he just knows what makes me tick. I mean, he's been knowing me since I was 15, honestly.
Yeah.
So he just knows how to get the best out of me. He knows how to keep me going, even when, you know, we're going through adversity, man. He's always been like the wind underneath my wings, you know. So that's my guy.
Yeah. Do you remember the moment that he really sold you on him as a coach? Because I know, like,
That's a great question.
Right.
I know, like, recruiting is just such a different beast and everything.
That's a great question.
Thanks. It's like I do this for a living.
You know, honestly, it was so the day I verbally committed to NC State, he had scheduled a visit to come down to my high school, and we were just sitting in my head coach's office, and we were just talking. And I don't know what it was, but it just kind of clicked. I was like, I'm not gonna find this relationship anywhere else, man. I just felt at home talking to him, and he knows how to switch from being a coach to being a person. And I don't feel like a lot of coaches have that switch, and Coach Nielsen showed that early. And then on top of him as a coach, I mean, it's just a cherry on top, honestly. You know, the guy truly cares about all his guys. It could be a practice squad player, a walk-on player at NC State, and then you got guys like Bradley Chubb. Like, he's going to treat everyone the same, and he wants the best out of everybody.
My favorite thing is from talking to other guys on this Falcons defensive line. I know we're jumping around here, but this Falcons defensive line, everybody says when they go to sleep at night, they can hear Ryan Nielsen's voice saying attack and aggressive, rolling around in their mind. Are there any other phrases that he has had over the years that you are like, I will hear this until the day that I die?
We have this sled. It's called the Eagle Sled. He takes it wherever he goes. He had it while we were at NC State. He had it last year at the Saints. He has it here at the Falcons facility. And whenever we go, he screams, "Go! Lock him out! Squeeze!" I can hear those 3 words for the rest of my life. Just how many times he said it throughout these years, man. So, yeah.
We love consistency.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah, and to have such a great support system from the football coaching standpoint, from the players that you consider family, and then from your actual family. Yeah. Those moments become, or that support system becomes really important when things don't go right. And I think you know where I'm going here. NC State's pro day. Yep. You're on the verge of a dream, and you tear your ACL.
So a lot of people, I don't know how this got confused, but I tore my ACL. I was working out for the Giants. They actually had me working
I'm sorry
out.
About that.
No, you're fine. It happens in social media, all this stuff. Yeah. But the Giants actually had me working out as a middle linebacker. When I was coming out into the draft. And looking back on it, I probably shouldn't have did it. But me being the athlete that I am at heart, I was just like, you know what? Let me go and do this because I feel like I could do it. You know, all the D-lineman's dream
is
to
young.
drop in coverage.
Yeah, you're young. You're trying to impress these guys. You're wanting them to give you a chance. Yeah. So I get it.
So I'm super excited to go out there and do it. And it's the last drill of the day. I'm going. I think I dropped out in the flat. He threw me a pass like I was covering a tight end on the out route. I went up, caught the ball. He said I had a really good vertical, just to add. And I came down, my knee buckled, and I tore my ACL.
Okay.
And so at the moment, it was tragic, but looking back on it, I really needed it, guys. Like, it was my first injury. It really taught me how to take care of my body, eat, sleep, nutrition, all that good stuff. And I don't think I would have got to year 6 without that injury.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's really good perspective.
It's a huge – so much value came out of me getting hurt at that moment. Yeah. So I'm grateful for it.
When did you get that perspective?
Yeah.
Year 3 in the league.
Okay.
Because my first year I was on IR, and 2019, like half of the year, I battled back, but I still had like a little tendonitis in my knee. So that half of 2019 I was on IR. Then 2020 COVID season, the craziest year ever. That was my first full year playing in the league. Yeah. So that's probably when I gained a perspective. Just because the thing that I valued the most that had been taken away from me for the past 2 years, it came back to me. So I was just it's great to be back out here, you know?
It's like riding a bike.
Yeah.
How did you handle it in the moment? I mean, you're still a relatively young man, and
listen, guys. Believe it or not, I know how big I am. Every day I was calling my mom, probably around like 2:30, and I'm crying my eyes out because I'm seeing all my friends and teammates living my dream, basically, because they're out there working out. I had a workout scheduled with the Falcons like 2 or 3 days after that. I think Dan Quinn was here at the moment. And it was me, BJ, and Justin. We were all supposed to work out, but I couldn't work out because I had torn my ACL. So just being around that moment, it was gut-wrenching. But I think on the back end of it, like having the opportunity to go out here and play again and enjoy that with my brothers, I think it made it even more sweeter, you know?
Do you, looking back on kind of draft weekend, what was your mindset going into that time, being like, I am injured, I'm coming off of this thing, like I know I'm going to be put on IR immediately, like what are you thinking? Like, really?
I am in the I remember I was in the recliner, I'm just sitting there. And it just looks like there's a cloud of rain just raining on me the draft days. And I'm just like, Man, I told my ACL, I'm not going to get drafted. This is just, ugh. And I remember I was just sitting there, and my phone starts ringing, and it's this California number. I'm like, I don't know anyone from California. I'm not going to answer this. Someone's just bothering me. And the 49ers are on the board, so I'm like, let me answer this.
Just in case.
And I pick it up, and it's John Lynch. I'm like, no way am I getting drafted right now. So it was a great moment because it was unexpected, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting, and to see, like, let's just give other teams kudos here. Like San Francisco won, they took a shot on you, and that it ended up paying off because you had a really good last year with them.
Yeah.
And they had a piece of content, a video that Tori and I watched earlier this afternoon, where I don't know if you knew what was happening, but they sit you down in like a meeting room or something, and it's your friends and your family.
Oh yeah.
It was right before your debut.
It was right. It was right before. Yeah, your first NFL game.
Yeah.
And they played all these like well-wish videos, and I mean,
a tearjerker. Oh, a tearjerker.
I mean,
like,
I was
just watching it from the outside, having
Yeah.
not been through it. But when you're sitting there and you realize it's like, it's not just like, your mom and your sisters. It's like it's
high school
so
coaches.
many people. It's high school
Everybody.
coaches. It's
Yeah,
Bradley
yeah.
Chubb. It's extended family.
Yeah.
It's your aunt and all these different people.
Yeah.
And you're so close to the dream anyway. And
Yeah.
then you sit down, you hear all these people across the country who have been rooting for you the whole time, this
Yeah.
moment. What was it like sitting there then, and what was it like when you actually got to go out on the field, an NFL professional player?
Guys, it was amazing. To start off with the video, that was the ultimate tearjerker because I think they told me I was going there to watch film or something. So I'm like game face on,
Right.
and they pull out this video. I'm just I don't think I cried my eyes out, but I definitely dropped some tears. And it just goes to shows that you can't overcome adversity by yourself.
Yeah.
All those people in that video were my support system, and I wouldn't got as far as I am today without them. And then to just go out there and play with those guys, I mean, it was amazing. It was everything I thought it was. The NFL is an amazing league, and I think it's the ultimate team sport. So just going out there and being able to be with those guys after waiting for that moment for so long, amazing.
Fun fact, that game was against the Falcons.
It was.
Which I
It
just
was
think
against
is
the
like,
Falcons.
what fun foreshadowing. But you talk about your support system, and this is something that Scott and I were talking about before we came in here, but your grandfather was a Marine.
Yes.
And he gave you advice when you were very, very young about essentially no one's going to outwork you.
Mm-hmm.
What did that mean to you during this time of you kind of going through what you're going through with the injury and trying to work back and get back to it?
Yeah.
How much did you recall that moment?
I think it's really what kept me going because, I mean, guys, for anyone who's tore ACL, it's a tough injury to come back because not only is it challenging physically but mentally because you don't ever want to tear it again, and you're kind of like babying it, but you got to be rough with it. Mm-hmm. So I think just having that, because that was really my standard from middle school all the way up until now. It's just like how I get the day going. So I honestly, without those words, I don't think I would have got to where I am today because it was some really dark days getting back from this injury.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Which is crazy because just to hear you talk and you're so energetic and so positive, right?
Yeah.
That it seems kind of contrary to that. But we're gonna move on to some other stuff. But I never in a million years would have thought that we ask you about a low point in your athletic life.
Yeah.
And the first thing you say is, "I'm so glad that happened."
Yeah.
And here's why.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I was like, I don't know what to do here, but that's the exact kind of right mentality, right? And it speaks to exactly the question that Tori was talking. I'm getting all deep now, but it's like that's that mindset is what gets you through those things, and then you look back and you say, okay, I'm stronger. I'm here in year 6. I'm better and better and better. Looking for the next thing. I just think that it's just a fascinating way to look at it. No easy transition from one to the other, but I was cycling through your Instagram page.
We're gonna have some fun now.
Yeah,
we're off the deep stuff.
Sorry, guys, for the emotion. I'm sorry.
No, we'll never apologize for that.
Never apologize for that. But sifting through your Instagram page, you have 3 pinned photos on the top. They're all of really fast cars. I had to look up what they were. One was if I'm getting it right, correct me if I'm wrong. Is it a Nissan GTR?
Yes.
Okay, I looked that up. That car can go 1/4 of a mile in 9 seconds.
Yeah, it's fast.
It's fast. And Kentavius' car is not just like the stock issue right off the line.
Right.
It's, I don't know, tricked out is the right word or not. But
it's a monster, guys.
But are you a car guy? I mean, because you have a couple. Give us some background on that.
Okay, so my dad had a racing team when I was a little guy. It was called Come Get Me Racing.
Really?
That's so good.
So since I was a little kid, I've always been fascinated about cars.
What type of cars? What type of racing group are we talking here?
For my
Your dad.
dad's,
Yeah.
it was I think it's like Super Street, so it's like
Okay.
I think it was like a 70 Malibu.
Wow.
It was supercharged. I think it ran like 1/4 mile, maybe 8.2 seconds, something like that. It was fast. And no, I might actually be wrong about that. But yeah,
But
it was fast.
really
It was
fast.
cool. It was the
Fast
coolest thing
car.
ever. So then I got into that, and I'm just like, wow, I like fast cars. Then I started playing Need for Speed, and then I'm blessed with the financial status to go and experience these cars now, and I just delved into it. And the era of cars that I really like is, I'm not really an American muscle guy. To the contrary, I know my dad's probably rolling over right now hearing me say this, but I really like Japanese imports, and probably 85 and further on, like the Fast and Furious era is what I like to call it.
Okay.
Those are my babies. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Interesting.
So, I mean, there's so many questions to ask now, but I mean, so have you ever done one of like driven one to a top speed, or done one? They have some of these racetrack experience things, getting behind the wheel of that thing and putting the gas pedal down.
So I haven't went to a track officially.
Okay.
But I have experienced, especially in that GTR, guys. It's it doesn't want to go anything under 80. The gas pedal just sucks you in, basically. So my highest speed unofficially is probably 140. The cars are just amazing.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like it's going 40. It feels like it's going 60. The Japanese engineering is just top notch. I'm in love. Even from so that car's a 2013, 2012, I believe. And I have I think I had a 1992 Mazda RX-7, and just seeing the advancement they've made into, what is that, 21 years? It's just crazy. I mean, the cars are amazing.
I'm really okay. So I'll preface this by saying I know nothing about cars.
Yeah.
Nothing. We'll get into the topic of which I do know about your dogs later.
Yeah.
But about these cars, this is going to be a stupid question for the people out here who are really into cars. But how do you find these cars? How do you sit and do research for hours? What's the process of
honestly,
getting one?
for me, it starts. So I was in California, and in the Bay Area, it's car mecca. You're gonna see any type of car. You're gonna see low wires, old muscle cars, my era cars, Lambos. You're gonna see everything. And for me, it came with my friend's name's Herm, and he really got me deep into these JDM cars. And upon talking to him, I think my phone, because Apple's so advanced with listening to you. She started offering me these cards, and I was like, you know what?
Suggestions.
Let me go to Google, and it just popped up.
Instagram suggestions. Yeah.
And I ended up going to a great dealer. I think they're located in Tennessee and Virginia. It's called Duncan Imports, and that's where I bought my first JDM car. It was a 1995 Toyota Supra, and that's really where this obsession began. So that was probably back end of 2020. Yeah.
Wow.
So just one last question on this.
Yeah.
I could have 10,000, but you have a schedule to keep. So you were saying that your dad had like a racing team,
Yeah.
right? So did you ever go like watch him race? You hang out in his like fixing up the like car. Like, what are
Yeah.
your early memories of your dad and cars, and how
So
impactful was that?
We were at the racetrack, guys, probably every other weekend from, let's say, first grade through fourth grade. Then we moved around. Then I came back to Georgia my 7th through 10th grade year, and then from there on, I think we were probably at the racetrack, especially when it was warm. So probably like 7 to 8 times a month, and
Wow.
it's so many racetracks in southern Georgia. We go to Twigs. It was one in Coffee County. Like, we go all over the place, and just being around that environment, it's very similar to like a game day. Like, everybody's gonna pour all of their enthusiasm and their vision into these cars, and then that's their day to showcase what they put their work into. And it's an amazing environment because you get to see people's visions and what they really wanted to put into the car come to life. And it's just dope. It's a great experience. I highly encourage you guys to go to a drag strip.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's really cool.
I love that. And I love seeing like the passion of you kind of talking about this. Like, you can really tell that this is something that you really care about.
Really
Yeah.
cool, yeah.
Something else you really care about. And I have been holding on to these questions
It's time.
For
for
25
so
minutes.
long. I care greatly about this. No one else may, but I do. We have to talk about your dogs. Okay. For the people listening and or watching, he has 2 dogs. One's name is Doodle Bop, and the other one's name is Little Bit. They're the cutest little things. Question number 1, where did the names come from?
That has to be
Like-
Honestly, it just kind of happened. So we got Doodle Bop. What was it, like the
Hear
end
it
of
not
2021? And she was just the littlest dog. She could literally sit in my hand, and she was just daddy's baby from day one. And her given name was Minnie, but we just didn't like it. It was just too generic.
Didn't fit her.
And I don't know. We played around with so many things. It was Chi-Chi, Mochi, like so many things. And then one day I was like, you know what? You look like a Doodle Bop. And she looked at me. I was like, yep, that's it. And from that point on, it was Doodle Bop.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's her personality like?
Oh my God. She's
Does she
like
because when I think of Doodle Bop, I think of like bouncing off the walls.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
is she like that, or
no, she's like, I like to always, so my baby thinks she's a Rottweiler, but she's only 10 pounds.
okay?
And I like to call, I feel like she's more of like a Mufasa. Like, she's a reserved,
In control. Yeah.
courageous little puppy. And a lot of, everyone says that, like, she doesn't like anybody but me.
Oh.
But I just feel like that's just her calling card. She's really like a how can I say it? Like a cold-hearted sweetheart. That's like
Okay.
that's her personality.
Yeah, she has like one person that she gravitates toward, and
Yeah.
she's loyal to that one person.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it. Now, Little Bit. What's Little Bit's origin story?
Now, Little Bit's like a mixture of like a Care Bear and I can't think of something else, but like she's like
a little sweetie.
She's just a sweetie. She wants to be held all the time. She wants to eat everything, and if she sees a tennis ball, any like ball-like object, guys, she's gonna pick that ball up and bring it to you the entire day. She'll never get tired of it. Yeah, that's my
And
baby.
Little Bit, the name, I guess y'all were probably playing around with some other things.
Yeah. So we, I think her given name was Fatty because she's just a thick built dog.
She's a little chunk.
She's a little chunky, and I think her name being a little bit is kind of ironic because she started off so small and then she just got big, and I'm just like, yeah, we're gonna call you a little bit.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
I love the ironic names.
Yeah.
That's so great. I love dogs. And are they rescues, or did you get them like
We got them from a breeder in I think she's located in Michigan.
Okay, cool. I
And,
love that.
Lil Bit and Doodle Bop are sisters. They're just from Doodle Bop's from the first litter, and Lil Bit's from the second litter.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
And that kind of ties into your My Cause My Cleats charity that you're trying to bring
Yes.
attention to, Paws Atlanta.
Yes.
Right. Let's tell people maybe a little bit about that.
Oh, so my dogs mean the world to me. And I know anyone with pets, whether it's cat, a bird, hamster, fish, you pour so much love and care into your pet. And I can only imagine like how that pet feels if they're in a shelter or somewhere, not having someone to love them. So I just wanted to be able to give back and showcase Paws Atlanta, because they're taking this step to, protect those dogs, provide them a home, food, water, what they deserve, because they're such loving creatures. They're man's best friend. So I just wanted to protect them, because I see a lot of times, these sweet, sweet animals getting abused or not getting the love that they deserve, because that's all they give out. I've never seen a dog just have pure hatred from the jump, So I just want to protect something that couldn't protect itself.
Yeah, that's so great. And I think a fun way to end the conversation, but we cannot let you get out of your seat yet without going through
rapid fire.
Everybody get it's really not terribly rapid, but everybody gets the same. But we just refuse to change the name.
Right.
Okay.
Everybody gets the same 5 questions.
Okay.
All right. Question number 1: your favorite play of your career?
For me, it should have been my first sack, but it was actually 2020 COVID year. The week before Thanksgiving, we were playing the Saints. I sacked Drew Brees, but it was a roughing the passer call, so it got taken away.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite play of my career.
It's like, you'll take the roughing the passer call. We'll take it. Yeah, we'll take it. I can say it. You don't have to. We'll take it.
Let's see. Your favorite athlete, regardless of sport?
Aaron Donald.
That was so
Aaron Donald. I think he's the best football player to touch the grass. Like what he can do from a 3 technique position, dealing with double teams. Sometimes running back comes and chips him in. And I've seen several times where there's 3 or 4 offensive linemen dedicated to him. That's ultimate respect.
And given that you used to play in the NFC West, you play the Rams a couple times a year.
Yep.
Have you ever had a chance to interact with him before?
Not yet.
I'm
waiting.
Really?
I'm waiting for that day. Oh my goodness, guys! I remember I was at NC State and he was at Pitt. And
that's right,
in the off season, that's who we watched. Me, Justin, BJ. It was just what he could do, guys. Amazing. It was a game against Georgia Tech. I think he had like 12 tackles. The guy's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't think he's human, honestly.
They created him in a lab or something.
Definitely genetically modified.
What's a TV show or movie that you would recommend to the people?
If you haven't watched it yet, Rush Hour. Any one of the Rush Hours. I cry laughing. Anytime I watch it, I probably watched it 100 times.
That's what I was going to ask you. How many times have we seen it? We're heading towards triple digits.
Yeah.
Whether it's something from the state of Georgia, something that your family makes, your favorite restaurant. What is like desert island food? Like what is like your favorite?
That's tough.
It's tough. It's
okay,
hard.
so I'm gonna start off with dessert because I'm a big dessert guy.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you one from my family. I'm gonna give you one from the restaurant. For my family, it's my grandma's pound cake. Oh, it's to die for, guys.
Now, are you like pound cake with strawberries and like whipped cream, or is it just the pound cake?
Just the pound cake, and maybe some vanilla ice cream. Maybe if I'm feeling froggy that day. And then for a restaurant, it was this donut place in the Bay called Stan's Donuts. I just get it's nothing extravagant. The glazed donut is just sensational, mouth watering.
Sometimes it's like
amazing.
The like simplest thing.
Yes.
If done right.
Yes, they do simple better. It's amazing, guys.
I hope that's what people say about me.
Yeah.
She does simple well. Okay, last question. I'm changing this up a little bit because I feel it's relevant.
Okay.
If you could give a superpower to Doodle Bop and Little Bit, what superpower, like Paw Patrol, like would they
say, like,
have?
Paw Patrol?
Yeah, I don't think Paw Patrol dogs have like superpowers, but you
they
can
just
give
have super fancy tech. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Doodle Bop and Little Bit, what are their superpowers?
For me, I'm gonna start with Doodle Bop. I wish he could talk to me.
Okay.
The look she gives me sometimes, I'm just like, I know you're trying to say something. I just don't know what it is.
Help me help you.
Yes, and for a little bit, I wish she could fly because I just feel like she would be the most adorable thing flying around. I really do. She's just like a little potato flying around. I feel like it'd be the coolest thing. And she has to have wings. She can't just fly around. She has to have like little wings.
Yeah, we don't need like Superman style. Like we need flapping.
Yeah.
It's absolutely essential. That concludes rapid fire. That also concludes what I can easily call an epic episode of Falcons in Focus presented by Ticketmaster.
I don't want it to end.
I really don't.
I'll come back.
Yeah,
let's do it. Round 2 coming up next season.
We got to do. I'm gonna bring one of my. I think the GTR. So the GTR is actually being built in California right now, and my guy Dan. Got to give him a shout out at Amon's Auto Garage in Fremont, California, doing an amazing job. The build's wrapping up. Hopefully, it'll get done before the season over. I would love to do a podcast in the car, guys. I think it'd be amazing.
Can you imagine? You can just teach me all the things in the car.
It's like a little spaceship.
Yeah. It's like I'll just keep asking dumb questions.
There's no dumb questions. We're good.
No, we'll book it. It's good.
You
just let us know when it's ready.
Okay.
And then we'll find an empty straightaway and hit top speed. Hit top speed. But until that time, I'm Scott. That's Tori. This is Kentavius. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you again next week with another great guest. See ya.